Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm joined now by my very good friend, Steve Benchwall from Wisconsin Business World. Welcome back, Steve.
Hey, good to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here. So I understand that you just had your Business World camp for the summer. Can you tell us about how that went?
Sure, yeah. So we just finished up our camps. We had 2 sessions at the end of June. We were up in Green Bay for a week at St. Norbert College, and we just had a week right here before the 4th of July holiday. We were at Edgewood College here in Madison. Great summer programs all around.
Very cool. So you had 2 sessions. Mm-hmm. What? Tell us about the difference between those 2 sessions.
Sure. So the programs themselves are pretty similar in terms of the curriculum and what the kids do. But part of what we do at camp is supplement the kids' projects on the college campus with business tours and maybe some guest speakers. So those tend to be kind of regional to the area, Green Bay tours. Sure. You know, in Madison area business tours. And some of the speakers were different. But other than that, the experience is very much the same.
Very cool, very cool. So you had Green Bay and then you had Madison, is that correct?
Yep.
So I'm just curious, is there any chance that there's going to be any expansion to any other areas of the state eventually?
Absolutely. You know, one thing that we kind of feel bad about is that we don't have much of a presence on the western side of the state. Sure. We've been to UW La Crosse before for a session a few years back, and it went really, really well. And we're kind of hoping our kind of goal and long-term vision is to add a 3rd program, a 3rd session in the summer, where we can kind of reach out to kids on that side of the state. You know, they've certainly been invited and encouraged to come over to Madison or Green Bay, but that's kind of a haul for those kids. So we're hoping that if we locate a program in their neck of the woods, we can get a lot more kids to participate.
But that's going to be a haul for you then, eventually,
going
I can
all
handle around the state.
That's right, but I can handle it.
But you like it.
Yep.
That's what you live for.
Yep, that's
so
right.
What are some of the highlights of this year's session?
Sure. Well, it's really fun to see the creativity of what the kids come up with. They invent a product while they're with us on camp, and then their pretend company kind of creates a whole brand and company around it. So there were some really cool ideas. Things that were keeping kids safe on the sports field. So if you hurt yourself, we can scan you before we move you, kind of thing. And all sorts of things about electronics and how do we keep our phones battery powers longer and all that kind of stuff that you'd expect. But the highlights to me are kind of more of the bigger than business things that go on. So kids, it's a pretty emotional experience. Some of them, this is the first time that they've been away from home. Yeah. So they're living in the dorm, no mom and dad, no teachers, and they're very much on their own, you know, self-reliant and accountable for where they need to be and the projects that they need to get done. So it's really cool to see them kind of mature in 4 short days. Yeah, and
so they get that taste of freedom, and then that makes them want to just go right back to college the next year.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, you mean I got to go home now? I'm sure a lot of them think that. Yep. So is there a place on your website where viewers can find highlights from camp?
Yeah, you could certainly go to our website, and it's probably kind of on the bottom of the screen for the viewers. But I think the best place might be to go to YouTube and put in Wisconsin Business World, and make sure you do the Wisconsin before the Business World. But we have camp highlight videos. The kids each morning do a little news show for the kids at camp. So it's really cool to see kind of the production value around those newscasts, and those are all on our YouTube channel. So if you find that, you can really get a good idea of the energy and enthusiasm that the kids have at camp.
Now, who's responsible for those newscasts? Is it the kids that are attending the camp then?
Yep. So we bring in business volunteers to be the mentors. So we have some people who have some TV background, but in terms of what they're writing, the script and the filming and most of the editing is all done by the kids. So it's really fun to see them kind of get their ideas and storyboard how they want it to go, and then they go out and get interviews at camp and show it the next morning, and it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, I'm just curious, you know, you've talked a lot about some of the different inventions that the kids come up with during these camps, and some of them seem that like you'd have to have almost an engineering or scientific background to kind of come up with it. Are the ideas mainly staying as ideas on paper, or, I mean, do they have to come up with the logistics and actually make the inventions work?
Sure, so it's usually more theoretical. It's usually more kind of on paper and an idea, or sometimes the product that they come up with would be a little bit hard for them to kind of put together at the price that they intend to sell it for. But they come up with the idea and they get really excited about it. And sometimes it very much kind of turns into a real thing. We had one student a few years ago who did cell phone screen repair. So if your screen got cracked or broken. And that student goes to University of Minnesota now and actually started that business for real.
Wow.
Yep. Get Smart Solutions, I believe, is the name of the company. And yeah, so it's really exciting to kind of see those hypothetical ideas, you know, take root in the real world for some of the kids.
That's very cool, and I think that's probably a healthier approach to that. The creative aspect is not worrying so much about the details or the logistics, but just kind of focusing on coming up with really brand spanking new ideas.
Yep,
So,
and a lot of what it is too is the sales skills that are involved. Putting
Right.
yourself out there, making a pitch for your company
Yep.
and yourself. That's going to serve you well no matter where you land.
absolutely. Steve Benchwall from Wisconsin Business World, thanks for so much for joining us today.
Great to be here. Thanks.
Don't go away. When we come back, there is more Talk of the Town. Stay with us.